Welcome to a new edition of the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino. On this episode, we talk with motivational speaker and certified life, spiritual, and relationship coach, Jacquie Elliott. She works with clients on issues from boundary setting, defining their life, or soul's purpose. Her focus is abusive brain chatter, and she's developed the ABCs to help clients combat what she calls tornado head of abusive chatter. Her spiritual coach training has helped others not only find a loving higher power, but how to walk a spiritual path. As a relationship coach, she works with clients to help them with their most challenging task setting and keeping healthy boundaries. She was a co-host on a community affairs radio show in Bend, Oregon for many years. She has great stories. Enjoy this interview.
Well, Jacquie, thank you for taking a minute out today. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
Before we get into your life as a motivational speaker and life, spiritual, relationship coach, I want to know, over the past, say, 3 years now, going through COVID, how did you survive this COVID time period of a lot of changes, and how has it changed the way that not only you live your life, but the way that you approach business now?
Wow, great question. I'm one of those lucky people who really grew through the COVID. I was fortunate enough I'm fortunate enough not to have to work, so I didn't have to worry financially. And as a result, what it actually did is it brought me inward. You know, I'm a goer. I'm a real goer. I'm always out. I'm doing things. That's just part of the nature of who I was, I should say. I always had to be doing something, playing pickleball, exercising, running, doing this, whatever it was, taking classes. And suddenly I was forced to go inward because I was home. And it was quiet, and certainly I'm not going to sit around watching TV all day. So I had to find things to do with my time. So I became very educated. I started taking online classes. I started getting involved in things. I did a lot of coaching for free, a lot of coaching helping people through the COVID time. So it really changed my life in terms of enriching it. And I also got to see how really lucky I was. I really felt like, oh my God, there are so many people out there who are losing loved ones. And there were people I was reading about on our next door Bend or whatever it was that were just, absolutely no money, not able to pay their phone bills. And I just saw how blessed I was and how I really, if I don't go through life with this attitude of gratitude, then I'm wasting my life. So it really for me, opened up a lot more spirituality.
Yeah, it sounds like you took advantage of the time. So let's get to the essence of what you do for a living. And I want to put you in front of a bunch of kids at a career day at a grade school, let's say second graders. And one of the kids looks up at you and says, "What do you do for a living?" How do you answer that child?
Well, I would say, how sometimes you don't know what you're feeling, or sometimes you want to do something but you don't know how to do it, and you need someone to help you, like a coach. Maybe you're playing soccer and you need to get better at it. Well, I'm a coach for adults. I help them get better at whatever they want to do in their life. Not physically like you would a soccer coach, but if you wanted to, say, become a famous singer or a famous writer or president of the United States, and you didn't know how to do that, I would help you learn how to do that and walk with you as you do it and coach you as you go through doing what you want to do in life.
You're in a field where you have to give a lot, and I'm curious, how did all this begin? Let's go back to, where you were born and raised. And how did these seeds get in you to make you want to live your best life and to help others do the same?
Well, I think I always felt like I wanted to be a speaker. I always enjoyed watching. I'm not religious, but, on Sundays, sometimes I'd see somebody up on stage and I would say, wow, that's really powerful. I really love that they're doing that they're inspiring people. So as a small child, I felt like, I was very empathetic, and I felt like that was something that I did want to do. But I had a lot of trauma in my life. And like many life coaches or people who want to teach and inspire, I learned to overcome that. And that really is what my motivation is, because I say, with the life I had, if I could overcome it, then anybody can overcome it. And I wanted to help people, show people how I did it. And, when I was about 42 is when I really hit the wall. And I was just into full-blown food addictions and binge-watching TV addictions and alone, divorced, single mother, really just completely beating up on myself. I had just spent the first 42 years beating up on myself and then using addictions to cover up that noise, to try to quiet that noise. And one day I just hit the wall where there was just so much chatter going on in my head. I couldn't take it anymore. It was just like, a tornado had exploded in my head. And that's when, for me, was a spiritual experience, I call it. Other people may not, but that's okay. For me, it was the day that I just said, I can't do this anymore. This way I'm living my life just isn't working anymore. And I've been handed it to me by my parents, my family, my peers, all the trauma that's happened in my life. And I need to get some outside help to navigate this. And so that's what I did. And, for me, I joined a 12-step program that certainly changed my life. But as I started going through it and started changing and started to find my spiritual center, I started to realize how much baloney I had been fed and how much baloney I had eaten. And literally, I'd been stuffing. I just said, there's got to be a better way. And so I learned that better way. And one of the lessons I learned, in fact, I just wrote an article about it, was that I somehow thought that people who were happy and healthy in their life had some magic that they did. They were just born different. In fact, in this article I wrote, that my sister was one of those people. She made it look so easy. She just, she exercised, she did what was right, she started her own business, she always took steps to do what was right in her life and to go for her goals. Well, I was a victim, and I always thought that was just the world. I had a big V on my head, and she was one of the lucky ones who got this, wonderful motivation gene. And one day I had a talk with her, and she said, you know what? I said to her, why is it so easy for you? We came from the same family. Why is it so easy for you? And she said, well, who said it's easy? I just do it. It's not easy. It's not easy to get up and take care of yourself. It's not easy to journal every day. It's not easy to meditate. It's not easy to make yourself show up at the gym when you don't feel like it, when it's cold outside. She says, I never said it was easy. I just do it. I do it because it makes me feel good. And then I started looking at other people who were successful, and I realized that, too, that they also did these things. And so it was this whole shift in thinking that I had bought my abusive brain, I call it abusive brain chatter. I had bought what it was selling me, which was that I was weak and that I had some defective victim gene. And that's what it would tell me to keep me back. Oh, no, you're not like them. You just stay home and eat more food. You're not like that. You can't exercise. You can't go do this. You can't do that. You can never make more than minimum wage. It was telling me all of these things. And when I realized that I was listening to that instead of my real self and what I really wanted to be, well, that's when the shift really happened. And so that kind of led me on this process of sponsoring people, coaching people, helping them to find their best selves by really actually observing what they're saying to themselves. I call it abusive brain chatter. And by allowing them the space to listen to it, to find out what it wants, and then to take actions to change their core beliefs so that it doesn't have to shout at them so loud. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. And I'm curious, the one thing that carries us through is like positive influences in our lives. Who's been a hero or a role model for you?
Well, I would definitely say my sister, my older sister, Rodelle, the one who I watched accomplish so much in her life. And I just watched her do it with such grace and with such ease and with such generosity. She would share that with me. She when I would ask her those things, she would just take the time to share what she did. And I admired her, and I wanted to be like her.
Being in a profession where you give quite a bit, how do you balance the part of you that has to give a lot to clients, but also keep some back for you to keep you going?
It's so funny you should say that, because I was thinking about that today. That is a challenge. And, I live half the year in Mexico, and right now I'm in Mexico, and I want to go out and play. But, I have a workshop I'm leading tonight, and things like that. And I kept thinking, and so I have to balance that. What I do is I have a life coach myself. And what we do is we sit down with my calendar and I start putting in what's important to me for that week. And like right now I'm writing this book on Abusive Brain Chatter, so I have to then give up some things in order to do that. And when I kind of pencil it out with somebody, with a coach who says, okay, what's important to you this week? Well, it's important that I give my writing some time. It's important that I exercise because that's really important for my body. It's important that I do this. Well, then that leaves me this amount of time for my clients. So I'm one of those old-fashioned people who has a calendar that is a big calendar that I just block in time so that I look at my week, and if it's filled too much with clients, then I know I have to step back a little. I have to give up a little from here. I have to give up a little from there. And I just have to make sure that always on my calendar is self-care.
So if you can meet anybody alive on the planet right now, who would you love to meet and talk to?
If I could talk to anybody on the planet right now, that's another great question. Living or dead or no?
Either or.
Just alive. Okay. Well, I've always said that if I could go back and meet anybody in life, it would be Jesus Christ, and not because I was born Jewish, so it's not that it's from any religious point of view, but the teachings. I would really, really enjoy meeting who this person really was, not what I've been told this person was or who this person was, but really be able to ask questions about his spirituality. I hope I'm not offending anybody, but that to me feels like something I would really want to do.
No, I get it. I've had that answer before, and I think I would be in the same boat. I think it would be fascinating to peel back the layers and figure that out as well. So what motivates you every day to get up and to do everything that you do? What is it that gets you through the day?
Well, knowing, so I live life one day at a time, and that's really what motivates me. I'm not young. I'm old. I'm facing, I'm on that beautiful glide path. So every day is really important to me. I feel like I don't get to waste a day. And so I wake up and I read from my inspirational journals, and I do writing, where I kind of look at what I want to do for the day, or maybe something's bothering me and I kind of write about it in the morning. I kind of set my intention for the day. I write down my gratitudes, and that really motivates me. My husband, I'm just so blessed to have a wonderful husband now in my life, and he brings me a cup of coffee every morning. And that little act of kindness, it just feels so good to me. It's like I just wake up in gratitude every single morning. Thank you for my coffee. Thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for this wonderful life. I really am blessed. I have 2 homes in 2 beautiful locations and a wonderful career and a wonderful husband. And, I just feel so blessed every day. That's what keeps me motivated. It's like, how can I not be motivated? How can I not be grateful? That would be just such a waste of, that would be like a smack in the face to my spirituality to not utilize this day in the best way I can. And I know people call me a Pollyanna, and it's not that and maybe I am a Pollyanna. Maybe I just choose to look at things in the framework of, if this were my last day, what do I get to do today? And that's what really keeps me motivated.
So in your line of work, you get to see things on a regular basis that us, regular people in the world don't. So as somebody that motivates or helps people through relationships, just living better, what's one of the most common fatal flaws that humans make that can be corrected rather easily, or that we just don't recognize, but if we did, it would really kind of change the landscape of the way we view our lives?
I think, really listening to what we're saying to ourselves is so important. And in this book, it's about challenge. It's the ABCs of Abusive Brain Chatter. And the first is awareness. Be aware of what you're saying to yourself every day. And then believe, find some spiritual belief that you can, that will give you joy and expand your heart. And challenge your core beliefs, which I think is one of the most important things I do with clients. I challenge their core beliefs. Often, clients come in with excuses. Well, I didn't do it this way. I didn't do it this week because blah, blah, blah. And, my mother did this and my father did this. And we start going off on what I call tornado head, this whole tangent that keeps them out of really taking responsibility for their life. And I think if there's anything I say over and over to my clients, I would say, how would you look at this if you weren't a victim? That usually gets people, I see, you're right, I'm not a victim. Or I might say, how would you look at this if this were from a spiritual perspective? How would you look at this from a spiritual perspective? And it just gets them out of themselves realizing that, they're choosing to stay in. We have choices in our life, and you can choose to be a victim, or you can choose, another path, which I think is what I call the higher power, the higher self.
Let me ask you this: at the end of the proverbial day, how do you quantify a good day? How do you look back and say that was a good day?
Again, I look over my day based on how I behaved in life, how I behaved today. I look back and some people in 12-step programs would call it a 10th step. I kind of review my day and I go, wow, where was I selfish, dishonest, unkind? What could I have done better? Who do I need to apologize to for? It's usually my husband, because once in a while, I can get snappy or whatever it is. And what do I need to clean up today? And then what do I need to let go of today so that I can sleep? That's a really hard thing, because if I go to sleep with something on my mind, I'm going to be waking up, perseverating. And I like to wake up. I do wake up in the middle of the night. As you get older, you wake up in the middle of the morning. I love to wake up in the middle of the night and just be thinking about, I could write an article on this, or I could do that, instead of thinking about what I should have said to somebody, or what I could have said to somebody, or did that shame me, or whatever. It's like I like to take care of the business before I go to sleep, so that when I go to sleep, I put my head down on the pillow, it's over, I wake up to a new fresh day.
What's been one of the best client responses you've ever gotten back from the work you've done?
Oh, wow. Let's see. The best client responses. I've gotten so many great ones. I have a wonderful client who was, when they came to me, they were really lonely and distraught and making excuses for everything in their life, why it was other people and other things. And I love when I talk to this client now and they'll say to me, here's what I did this week. I took care of, I exercised, I did this, I did that, and they call me up with their wins. I love that. I call them the gold stars. I have my clients keep track of their gold stars for the week, because I always feel like I don't want to work with a client who isn't going to get gold stars. And by that I mean, I put a lot into I don't have many clients because I put a lot into my clients, and I choose to only pick people who are really ready to move in their life, because it's very gratifying for me to do that. And so if in our work a client makes commitments to do things, and then they come back the next week and say, nah, I didn't do it, or I know I should be doing this, or blah, 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 we dig into what's that voice that's holding you back. We dig into finding out what's blocking you. But after several sessions, if they're not earning 3 stars, and they pick their own stars, what do you want to do this week? They pick their own stars. Then they're not ready for my kind of coaching. So, the clients that I have, they move. They move in their life and they take action. It's kind of like, I guess, I like people like me who realize that you have to take action in your life. And so I break it down into real small steps. I mean, I have a Motivation Monday workshop the first Monday of every month, and it's free. It's free for clients. It's free for anybody. And what I do in that is I help people break down one goal into really achievable steps. And I don't think you have to do, I just think you have to keep moving. You don't have to do big things. If you want, if I want to write this book, I don't have to write 16 chapters this week. How about if I just sit down for 1 hour and write, or 3 pages? But of course, once I sit down, I continue to write. But I don't set my goals, and I don't ask my clients to set their goals too high. I ask them to set goals that are achievable so that they can get the dopamine hit when they achieve the goals. And those are the clients I like to work with.
So everyone out there has a perception of you, your family, your friends, your clients, that ultimately you're in control of your life. You live it. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I feel like I'm a kind person. I feel like I am an honest person. I live by a lot of principles of honesty and faith. I'm a courageous person because I'm willing to look. I mean, when issues come up, and they still do in my life. Well, I'm like I said, I'm an elder. I'm 71. Things still come up that I have to look at and examine, and I have a lot of courage to do that. In fact, I get excited when something comes up, and I go, "Wow, I didn't know I was doing that. How cool! Where did that come from?" So I would say I'm a self-disciplined person, a very loving person. My friends and family consider me a very generous person of spirit. I'll help anybody. If somebody comes to me asking for help or asking for my, just need to give them the space that they need to examine this, whatever they need to examine. I'm always there for people. But I'm there for myself, okay? So I'm not, that's probably why they know they can come to me, because they know that I can set boundaries. I'm there for myself. But I am a person who is really open and available to help people.
So, Jacquie, if anyone out there wants to learn more about you, your services, anything related to your world, your show, where's the best place for them to go?
My website is Healing ABC. So that's all one word, like Healing Abusive Brain Chatter. Healing ABC will take you right to my website. There I have my free Motivation Monday workshops the first Monday of the month, or I have retreats that I sometimes do. And you know, I invite anyone to call. You know, just again, see if you ever want to work with me, or if you just feel like you just need a half hour, somebody to just listen to you. I do that. I offer those. I offer, you know, free consultations, free sessions for people who want to see if what I do is going to be something that they want in their life.
Wonderful, Jackie. This has been great. Thank you for opening up. I'm looking forward to playing it on the show. And good luck with everything as we move forward.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in to another famous interview with Joe Dimino, where we cover the world of art, literature, business, spirituality, music, and more from around the globe. If you want to hear more interviews, visit the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino channel on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.